UI actions are buttons which are clickable. UI actions run on both client side and server side. By default, UI actions run on server side. We have two types of UI actions, form UI actions and list UI actions. Okay. Yesterday, we created UI actions like create incident, create problem, create change request, transfer as request. Okay. These are the UI actions that we created. All those are actually server-side UI actions. And when to choose server-side, when to choose client-side UI action. Most of the people get confused at this point. Guys, if something related to database operation, if you have to do something in the database, yesterday we are creating the incident record in the database. Yesterday we are creating problem record in the database. Yesterday we are creating change request in the database. Yesterday we were creating requested item in the database. Okay, when you are doing some database operations in the database, it can be create operation, it can be update operation, it can be delete operation. When you are doing something related to database, yesterday we created a record in the database. When it comes to the database, we will go for server side UI action. If it is not related to database, we will go for client side UI action. I will show you the example so that you will be able to understand better. Yesterday, we created 4 UI actions. In all UI actions, we have used the server side UI action. We created records in the database. In today's session, we are going to discuss about client side UI actions. So in today, we are not going to create the record in the database. Okay, getting my point. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the first client side UI actions. So let me just go to finance case form. Right click, configure UI actions. So 4 UI actions we created. Why 3? I think we did use insert and stena. There should be 4, right? I think, okay. Fine. So let me create the record here. Okay. So when I click on this button, what is it doing? It is creating the incident record in the database. And that incident number, we are updating it here. In today's session, what I'm doing is, instead of creating the record in the database, we will just open the form. That is not about database operation. We will just open the incident form in a new tab. Whenever I click on this button, I have to open the incident form in the new tab. That is not about creation of the record in the database, guys. You got my point? Okay. So create incident. I am making this as client side UI action. When you check the client checkbox, you will be able to see a on field that will appear. If the checkbox is not checked, on click field will not appear. When you check the checkbox, you will see on click field. So here, what I'm doing is NC form. I'm calling the function here. Okay. That function you have to declare here. Okay. Within this function, you have to write a client side script. Within this function, you have to write a client-side script, guys. Whenever you check the client checkbox, you will see on-click field. So here you will call the function. That function you will declare here. So you have to open the form, right? How do you open the incident form? Using URL, you can open the incident form. Okay. Where NC URL is equal to, okay, incident.do question mark system ID is equal to -1. This URL I'm taking here, guys. This URL will open the incident form. Okay, whenever I click on this button, I will open this URL in a new tab so that it will open the incident form. So you have to use navigation API, G_navigation. G_navigation.open pop-up incident URL. What exactly does this? Will open the this will actually this G_navigation.open pop-up will open this URL in the new tab. Okay. So I am going to refresh this one now. Okay. Whenever I click on this button, it will not create the record in the incident table in the database. It will just open the incident form in a new tab. It is opening the incident form in the new tab. It is not creating the record in the database, guys. It is just opening the form. You're getting my point? Okay. So it is just opening the form. Okay. So here in the incident caller, you have to populate finance case caller. In the incident configuration item, we have to populate incident finance case configuration item. In the incident assignment group, we have to populate a finance case assignment group. In the incident short description, we have to populate um, finance case short description. So finance case short description should be populated in the incident description. So for that, we can populate field values also from the URL. So I will show you. And this param underscore query is equal to short description. Short description is equal to test value. Description is equal to Uday Gadiparthi. Okay. Short description I am populating test value, and the description I am populating Uday Gadiparthi. You can see here it will open the incident form. In the short description, test value is automatically populated. In the description, Uday Gadiparthi value is automatically populated. So that means here we are able to populate the values from the URL. Okay, I am going to cut this URL. I am going to paste this URL here. Okay, this test value we have to make it dynamic. G_form dot G_form dot get value description. Okay. Plus cap symbol, caller ID, incident caller field name is equal to plus G_form dot get value U_color should be U_description here. U underscore short description, U underscore description. Okay. Plus tab symbol, CMDB underscore CA is equal to plus G underscore form dot configuration item plus tab symbol, okay, save this one. So what happened? Whenever you click on this button, it will open the incident form. It will populate HR finance case caller into incident caller. Finance case configuration item into incident configuration item. Finance case assignment group into incident assignment group. So let me click on this one. You can see here. Did we save this one? Okay, we'll refresh the URL here. You can see here, finance case caller is populated here. Finance case assignment group is populated here. Short description is populated. Description is populated. So what is happening? Whenever I click on the button, it is opening the form. It is populating the fields. It is not creating the record. Remember, it is opening the form. It is populating the field values. Once you submit this incident, it will create the record. Getting my point? If you have to create the record in the database, then you have to go for server-side UI action. If you have to just opening the form and populate the field values, means you don't have to go for server-side UI action. You can just go for client-side UI action. Okay. You understand my point? Okay. Now I am selecting the configuration item well here. Okay. So whenever I click on create incident button, you can see here. So caller is populated from finance case. So configuration item is populated from finance case. Short description is populated from finance case. Description is populated from finance case. Assignment group is populated from finance case. But it did not create the record. It has just opened the form and populated the field values. Got my point? So if we have to create the record in the database, then you have to go for server-side UI action. Okay. Got my point, right? Hope everybody is clear. Similarly, same thing you have to do it with the problem form. Okay. Make it client callable. Open problem form. Save this one. So whenever I refresh the form here, Okay. I'll be able to see create problem button here. So there is no color field in the problem form, right? Then you will remove this line. Okay. So I am going to refresh the form now. So when I click on create problem, it will actually open the problem form in a new tab. It will not open the problem form in a new tab, guys. Here you have to change the table name as well. It is incident, right? You have to change it to problem. When I click on create problem, it is opening the problem form. It is populating the field values automatically. You can see here, assignment group is populated, short description is populated, description is populated. So it is not creating the problem record in the database. It is just opening the problem form and we are populating the field values. Okay. Same thing you can do it for. Same thing you can do it for create request as well. Transfer as request as well. Okay. Okay. There is no color there. Chart description, description, assignment group, configuration item. Okay. So I'm going to refresh the form here. So whenever I click on the transfer as request button, it will open the requested item form. It will populate the field values, but it will not create the record. So it is still on the incident form. We did not change it. We did not change the table name as C underscore RE score item. If you click on transfer as request, it is opening the requested item form. It is populating the field values automatically. Mm, there is no configuration item here, right? Hmm? Display lost. So if you select the configuration item here, whenever you click on transfer as request, okay, the configuration item is not populated automatically. So in the URL, it is coming short description, assignment group, configuration item. Because we don't have those fields here. Configuration item field name is configuration underscore item. But in the incident and problem field, configuration item field name is CMDB underscore CI. Okay. You have to just change it to configuration item. So whenever I click on transfer as request, so this time it will populate the configuration item. Likewise, you can open the forms and populate the field values using client-side UI actions. When it comes to the database related, if you have to create the record, update the record, delete the record in the database, then you have to go for server-side UI actions. Okay, guys, we understand opening the forms, right, in the new tab and populating the field values, right? Hmm? Now I am going to tell you another way to open the forms. Here we are opening the forms in the new tab. This time we will open the form. We will open the form in a window as a pop-up. Okay. So in place of this one, okay. So let me do one thing. Remove all this thing where Q is equal to. Okay. So I have taken this query, guys. We'll do one thing. Okay. So I have built that query. Okay, that is fine. This time we are not opening the form in a new window, we're opening the window in the same form. So for that you have to use glide model form, where GMF is equal to new glide model form. Okay. The title of the form you have to provide first. Create requested item, the table name, C underscore REQ underscore item. GMF dot render. Okay, we have to populate the field values, right? GMF dot add param. Okay, sys param query. Query variable you are storing, right? Okay, getting my point, right? So whenever you click on the button, it will not open the requested item in the new form, requested item form in the new tab. It will open it in the same tab. You can see here, right click on transfer as request. What is this? It is supposed to open the short description is equal to this one. Description is equal to configuration item is equal to assignment group is equal to this one. Okay, we'll do the same thing for incident form. GMDB underscore CA. Here I'm mentioning here as incident. Create incident. I'm just refreshing the form now. When I click on create incident, what is this? Okay, so it is opening the incident form. It has populated the field values automatically. In the same tab, it has opened the form. Whenever I click on this button, it has opened the incident form. Title as create incident. And you can see assignment group is populated automatically. Short description is populated automatically. Description is populated. So if you select configuration item here, configuration item also will be populated automatically. So it is opening the incident form in the same tab. And once you click on submit, it will actually create the record. Just opening the form and people populating the field values. So similarly, if I have to do it for transfer as request, here it is ga.add param, PARM, not RAM. That is Glide Ajax. This is Glide model form. Okay. So when I click on transfer as request button, okay, it will also open the form, create requested item. You can see here has opened the requested item form. Similarly, if you want to open the problem form, okay, same script, you can just copy it and paste it here. You can just provide here, change the table name as problem. Okay, problem. And here, create problem. Problem. I'm going to refresh the form. Right click on create problem. It will open the problem form. It will populate the field values automatically. You got my point, right? Okay. So likewise, this is not related to database. This is related to just opening the forms and populating the field values. If you have to create the record in the database, then you have to go for server-side UI actions. Okay. That is fine. Okay. So now we have to client and server side, both UI actions at a time. Guys, remember, if you write, if you client checkbox, you will see on click function. You have to call the function name here. Function name you have to declare here. Only within this function only you have to write client side scripting. Only within this line, within this function only you have to write the client side scripting. Outside the function, you can write server script again. Outside the function, you can write the server script again. Okay, getting my point? Okay. Do you remember whenever you change the state value as result, resolution code and notes mandatory? Okay. So there, what you have to do, you have to click on, you have to provide the state value as result. You have to enter the resolution code, resolution notes. You have to save it. So here, what you are doing is you are creating a button here called resolve button. Whenever you click on that button, okay, whenever you click on that button, if you have already provided the resolution code and notes, it will automatically keep the state as resolved. So that means from the button, I am resolving this finance case. From the button, I am resolving this finance case. So that means here it involves both client side and server side. First of all, I have to check these two field values filled in or not. If these two field values are not filled in, we have to stop the form submission. If these two field values are filled in, you have to keep the state value as resolved and you have to update in the database. First thing, we have to check resolution code and notes fields are filled in or not. If filled in, we have to update the state value as resolved in the database. If not filled in, we should stop the form submission. Database operation should not happen. Okay. Let me just explain you so that you will be able to understand better. I am creating a UI action called resolve UI action. Okay. So this is actually both client side and server side UI action. Both together I am writing. UI actions topic looks easy, and it will be interesting, and it will be tricky to understand. Okay. Resolve button. It appear only on the existing records. I'm making this client side UI action. I'm checking the form button here. It should appear in the blue color. Then I'm selecting primary here. Okay. So I check the client checkbox, right? Okay. So here inside this function, you can only write client side scripts. Outside this function, you can write server side script. So I am taking resolution code value, resolution nodes value. If those two field values are filled in, then it should submit the form. If not not filled in, it has to stop the form submission. Okay. Where our code g underscore form dot get value. Okay. If any of these fields are empty, equal to empty, or equal to empty, we have to write a message. Resolution code, resolution nodes, both are mandatory. Okay, you have to stop the form submission using return false. Return false will stop the form submission. Else, both the field values are filled in. Hmm? If both the field values are filled in. Okay. So here we have to update the value in the database. So then in that case, we have to move outside of this function to server side script. We have to move outside of this function to server side script here. For that you have to use GSFT submit method. GSFT submit S capital letter null comma P underscore form dot get form element comma UI action name. UI action name means this one, guys. So this line of script will move out, allow you to move out of this function. So you will come out of this function. So when you are moving from client side to server side, it will check if there are any browser errors or not. If no browser errors, if type of window equal to undefined. Undefined means no errors. If no errors, okay. It is a server side script, right? From the server side script, you can use current object. Current dot set value U underscore state, comma, 6. 6 means resolved. You have to use current dot date. And you have to use action dot. Okay, what you are doing here, the resolution code and notes are filled in. You are allowing them to resolve it. If not filled in, you are stopping the form submission. Okay, I'm just refreshing the form now. You will be able to see resolve button. Whenever I click on this button, what is it telling? These two fields are empty, right? Haven't filled in, right? This way it is showing this error message and it has stopped the form submission. I am filling these two field values, guys. Okay, if I click on resolve, it is actually marking the state as resolved in the database. Getting my point? First, we are checking resolution. Whenever you click on that button, it is checking if the resolution code and notes field values are filled in or not. If not filled in, it will stop the form submission. If it is filled in, it will update the values in the database. You got my point? It will update the values in the database. Okay. You got my point? So similarly, I am going to create a on hold button. On hold button. Whenever I click on that button, on hold reason field should appear. Okay. Whenever you click on hold button, it will check on hold reason value is filled in or not. If it is filled in, the state has to be set in the on hold state in the database. Okay. I think for this one, we have already we wrote one UI policy, right? I'm going to deactivate that UI policy. Guys, this GSFT submit line is very important. Will be asked in the interview question. Right click configure, go to UI policies. This one is active false. I think there must be a data policy. This is also active false, no? Is it raining outside? Looks like raining outside. Raining? So there is a on hold reason field. Then why is it not appearing? Which one is hiding that? Client script, huh? Very good. Good catch. Your mind is working sharp. You can do the same requirement using client script and UI policy, right? I think I told you we can do it using client script also in the previous examples. Okay. Okay. We are going to create a button here called unhold button. Free means on hold. Okay. Okay. UI action name. What is the UI action name here? So it will actually keep the state as on hold. Okay, I have created a button here called on hold button, guys. So it will check on hold reason field is filled in or not when you select the state as on hold. Mm, okay, now this should work. So what is it telling? On hold reason is mandatory, as this is not filled in. Once I fill in this one, it will actually keep the state as on hold automatically using script. You can see here. I would request you to create a button called close button. Whenever you click on the button, you have to check if the additional comments field value is filled in or not. If the edit comments field value is filled in or not. If this field value is filled in, we have to mark the state as closed. If the additional comments is not filled in, it has to stop the form submission. Getting my point? So additional comments field name is this one. It is as simple as it is, guys. What you will do is you will just create a button called close. Okay. So we have created a button called close button. So whenever you click on the button, okay, it will first check additional comments field value is filled in or not. If it is not filled in, it will show additional comments are mandatory. If you provide the additional comments here, then it will allow you to close it. So it is actually both client side and server side action. Within this function, whatever you will the client checkbox, you will write a on click function. You will declare that function. Within this function only, you will write client side scripting. Outside this function, you can write server side scripting. This is a server side scripting, guys. Hope everybody is able to understand the UI actions concept. Tomorrow we'll be discussing UI pages topic. Hmm? Any questions from anyone? I am unmuting everyone. Shekhar, you are not getting any questions at all. Hmm? Which one? So if the UI action should work on both client side means you check this checkbox first of all. It will work on the client side. From the client side, you are going to the server. You can only write server side UI actions. You can only write client side UI actions. You can write client and server both UI actions together at a time. UI actions is such a powerful feature. Okay. So tomorrow you are going to discuss about UI pages. Yes. So my point is here, guys. Tomorrow we are going to understand UI pages. So here, guys, remember this is also a form. This form we designed it from the table. We created a table in the database. We designed this form. Without form, we can create without table, we can create a page, though that is called UI page. To build that page, we need to have an HTML CSS. You need to have basic knowledge on HTML, CSS only for this particular UI pages topic. So without a table, we are going to design the form. Without to design the page. So this form is designed from the table. If there is no table, we can't design the form. Without a table, we are designing a page called UI page. To build that, we need to have minimum basic HTML, CSS knowledge. Okay. That we are going to discuss it in tomorrow session. Okay. Clear, right? Okay. Okay, guys. Then we'll see you there in tomorrow session. Thank you all.